Hello, and welcome to Ezreal's Happy Fun Time. So you want to play the most homosexual character in the league? You think you have what it takes to be a complete badass? Of course you do. That is why I am here to show you how to be the most badass Ezreal of all time. First, let's take a careful, visual inspection of why this little boy is the greatest champion in the league. Starting from the top, we can see he has a great hairstyle. This is an indication of how much swag he has. What is swag, you ask? Swag is a term used since the caveman era to measure a person's level of badassery. As you can see, Ezreal keeps up his swag with belts. Lots and lots of belts. With each belt he can hold multiple swords, and we all know swords are cool. This makes Ezreal even more swag than Master Yi. Get dunked. Back to Ezreal. Look at those swag goggles. This is how Ezreal can see you from miles away, ensuring he can hit you with his ultimate, even while blindfolded. Not really. Only a dumbass would believe that. He cannot hit crap while blindfolded. But take a look at that glove. That can hit anything without him needing to think about it. It's as though he is using the Force. Get dunked. Now that you have a very good understanding of Ezreal, I will now teach you all about playing him to ensure you will win every game. Learning all about Ezreal's skills is not an easy task. Implementing all of his skills, including his super secret skill of Doom, will take effort. His Q spell is called Cum Shot. This is used against the male champions of the league to seduce them to Ezreal's homosexuality. Let's try it out on this bot. Denied. His W spell is Essence Fucks. This spell is used to wear out his opponent's sexual desires. Also, this can penetrate his targets, something Ezreal is not used to. Let us make another attempt. Denied. His E spell is Anal Shift. This is a spell Ezreal is much more familiar with. He can quickly move anywhere nearby and shoot a weaker cum shot at his opponent. This allows him to quickly take his opponent from behind and give them what they deserve. Let us make one last attempt. Denied. If all else fails, you can always use his ultimate. When all other spells fail, Ezreal's ultimate will convert any opponent to his sexual ways. That's right, silly Tarek. You cannot hide what's inside. But wait, there's more. That is right, little children of the league. Ezreal has one last spell that most people do not know about.
You belong in a museum.
This can be so mesmerizing that not even the strong-minded can withstand it.
You belong in a museum.
You must continue to spam your taunt throughout the game. If you do not, there is no hope for you to become the most badass Ezreal of all time.
You belong in a museum.
Now that you have a better understanding of Ezreal's skills, let's talk about what happens behind the curtains. Only by carefully selected condoms and the super secret formula of skill points can you achieve ultimate victory over your victims. First, let us take a look at the different condoms you must take. Ezreal does not need any form of penetration. This would be a waste of time. Instead, you must focus your red, blue, and purple condoms all on pure damage. No penetration is required. However, there are still many threats to keep in mind. Because there are large amounts of pedophiles in the league, like this guy, you must always bring a small amount of protection. Save your yellow condoms for this. Now pay careful attention to the specially crafted skill points I am revealing to you. And always keep in mind I only do this out of the pure kindness of my heart. La la la. Never ever take penetration. That is for non-swag warriors. You must take all of the damage to ensure your enemies submit to you. Also, do not forget your protection. This is very key to your success. Before each game you may take 2 hack spells. I take Life Hack and War Pack. This will greatly make up for your little protection coming from your condoms and skill points. Items are the final portion to creating the ultimate Ezreal. Be sure to listen to this carefully, as it will not be repeated. Oh my goodness. The items are right there in front of you. There is no need for me to go over this section. Not really. What kind of dumbass are you? Never buy the recommended items. They are for cowards and peasants. Remember how we talked about Ezreal's belt fetish? Now it is time for it to shine. Collecting all of the swords in the shop is our goal. First grab boots and 3 red sodas. Then upgrade your boots to the boots of angry stomping on ground. Now start collecting your swords. The Edge of Infinity. The Thirster of Blood. The Purple Sword of Move really fast and hit really hard. The Fabled Double Swords. And the Unheard of Triple Swords. This build will allow you to run from the pedophiles of the league, along with chasing down the unfortunate virgins who don't know what they're missing out on. Lol lol. Now that you know what items to get, I must teach you how to get them as fast as you can. Ezreal is not good later on and is a fast finisher. If you know what I mean. You are a sex offender on the Swag Warriors Rift. There are 2 main institutions on this map. The Offender's Hospital and the Executioner's Office. The Offender's Hospital believes you are a kind and confused young boy, and are there to help you with your sexual confusion. The Executioner's Office wants you dead. They believe you are too unfitting for their city and will stop at nothing to kill you. Each institution will send out waves of miniature swag warriors to fight each other off. You must slay as many swag warriors as you can, to earn points towards your multiple swords. Once you have all of your swords, you can prove to the executioners you will not accept death. Also, it will help you compensate for your lack of a real sword. Ha ha ha. There are 3 different lanes on Swag Warriors Rift. As Ezreal, you will most likely be in the bottom lane, since being on top is not what you are best at anyways. Each institution will send their swag warriors down each of the 3 lanes. You must slay the different types of swag warriors for their points. The small ones are the dill dummies. They do not recognize the hospital's greater warriors and will only attack you if you make it obvious that you work for them. The harder to reach dill dummies are the stripper sisters. They provide better points because most swag warriors are unable to kill such sexy strippers. But you don't care, do you? You like the dill dummies anyways. Every few waves the Executioner's Office will send out a gangbang assassin. These can be difficult to take down but provide the most amount of points towards your success. These swag warriors will continue to come as long as the HQ is alive. For you to forever be free, you must eliminate the HQ by slowly destroying their checkpoints in at least 1 lane. The real difficulty comes with the enemy executioners. By killing these great foes you can earn lots of points, bringing you much closer to your goal. Watch as my light believer carefully distracts my opponent, allowing free hits. Once the enemy is low enough, I can use Life Hack and Warp Hack to catch up and convert her. Silly Soraka. Sex is for kids. Not really. Forget I even said that. Congratulations. Training is over. You are now ready to take on the Executioner's Office and start winning games all by yourself.
You belong in a museum. 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 You belong in a museum.